long. You're only at 1887 right now. Look at yesterday, no CPI, no nothing, and the market opened up at 19 and went all the way to 1850. So you could easily go down that 50 or 60 cents. That does happen, and I think you'll get stuff definitely around that $18 mark, let alone maybe.
All right, let's go to DocuSign here. It's now as if the pandemic never happened, if you look at the daily chart. For DocuSign, after a pretty bad report here, 38 cents versus 46. The forecast 2.5 to 2.54 versus 2.7 expected. So both top and bottom miss. They're not talking very positive, guys, for DocuSign.
No, and it's despite all that, like you see a daily chart that goes from 300 down to now into the 60s, back at 2020 levels, pandemic bottoms, and you say, like, yeah, valuation contraction is probably cheap. No, 40 times, or just under 40 times. So from a valuation standpoint, it can still go down. So when you get that guide not looking well, that's the reason why down 25% this morning. That's why we saw in the aftermarket just being an absolute flush. However, there's always a but, right? Like it showed that daily chart holding that line. I can't think of a single name that's been down more than 20% earnings in the last quarter during this earnings cycle. Had one of these gap down, and if it does not make a fresh low or cannot take out that low at the open, it usually bounces, and if not breaks out from there until it's Now, the one caveat is usually they have higher short interest in DocuSign, which is about 6 and 7%. So maybe that applies a little bit to fix, but if we don't take out that low, I kind of want to try that long on DocuSign. I've seen it happen way too many times without actually getting the long. I'm like, get out of the short early, and then I'll do that, but not reverse any of them. This case, I actually do want to take a shot on DocuSign off that bottom. It takes out the low. It's pretty simple to say, okay, let's get out of here. It's entirely too big. The valuation too bad. Down. And all of those other names, when they did that, they didn't have the market sort of down already after a CPI number. So this is a case where not only was it down and holding the bottom, but it was actually got a bad print on inflation, and the market came to the downside. It still didn't.
I just want to talk a little bit here about the chat. James, what's up, James? And below. What's up, James? Thank you for watching. Thank you for asking the question. And it was, why am I into TQQ instead of SQQ? They're the same thing. I prefer, we don't have to worry about borrowing or margin or anything like that here. We're on a prop firm. We have our own buying power. As long as the name is shortable here at Day Trade the World, and I can continue to short it. There's no advantage to SQQ. Reason why, and I said this in the chat, I'm just going to explain to everybody, is because I want to look at my water. So I want to look at where my positions are, and I just light them up in red. So all my shorts are red, all my longs are green. So it's just like the market's tanking. I'd rather be short the TQQ than long the SQQ. It's going to give me the exact same percentage move. Then I'm going to look over and I'm going to be like, what the hell? I'm long something? And it's just one of those things of being on the show. If you guys are more comfortable going long something, obviously I understand why. There's the margin requirements and so on and so forth. That makes perfect sense to me, and that's exactly why these indicators do exist, right? So that's the only reason why. But I'm in this name because, again, I'm expecting a downside move here in the market. If I want triple the leverage, and that's exactly, so just as a percentage thing for me, like I shorted this name back here at 29.20. I'm in the money 3%. It was down 3% when I shorted it, right? So now we're in the money 3%. Like that's like $3. Obviously, I don't need to explain the math to you guys, but that's why we do it. We are also short Amazon right now. Obviously, not 3% of the money on this one, but we're in the money $1 on 115. So you're in the money a little bit here as Amazon now taking down some of these lows. As I said, man, the closer we get to this market opening up, the more these names are going to start to dance. Look at Microsoft down there at that 260. For me, this is really the name that we got to look at here because of that hold, right? We held on that move down that one day, but we actually finished positive. A little bit better on the CCMO chart. Right down into here where we held that 260 bottom and started to rip back up. Looks like we're going to try to take that out again. If we take down 260, the last time we did that, it went to 258 right there. So I think Microsoft doesn't want to hold this level. And, we could punch it short right now. But I just wonder what's going to happen. We have 4 minutes until the imbalances come out on the NASDAQ. So right now we're well in the money on all these positions. They're not large positions. They're pre-market. We're trying to leave some arrows in the quiver, as they say. And I just don't want to get caught up having to average into positions because I'm already in one. So that's something there. You're welcome, James, for that response as well. And then Bears versus Bulls, you're doing a fantastic job moderating, but just for all of our audience out there, we don't want to talk about politics, right? Like, there's one thing to say that you think this administration might be responsible for the move in oil or something like that, but to come out and really give your political views is just something that here on the station divides us all, and we're trying to bring people in, not like get people out, right? And not like discourage positive. And it's one thing about the economy, and if you think the administration has something to do with that, but just like right now, like Pelosi fears competition bill loophole. I mean, whether or not that's a Democratic thing, Republican thing, it's going to affect the market Chinese way. So that's kind of the way that we want to talk about politics on here. And we'd hope for the same for you guys. As right now, here goes Microsoft taking out 260 as we speak. So, wow, Amazon exploding to the downside as well. My bid's at 111.50 right now. Getting a little excited here as the market's starting to ramp up, man. We're trying to make back some of those horrible decisions holding longs yesterday afternoon. We're going to see right now as this market's really ramping up. SQQ down to lows right now. We're in the money now 4% on this one. 3.5%
Order filled.
Right now in the T2. So it's a good move to the downside here. Amazon's starting to explode as well. Man, these imbalances at 9.
Target filled.
To be nasty, I think, on the NASDAQ side.
J-Lows, yeah, right across the board, guys. We talked about AMD on the board there. Let's jump down to Netflix. I want to mention Netflix specifically for some relative weakness here as well. Already 6% for Netflix on the day. Goldman Sachs going to sell on their rating for NFLX, guys. Big gap first off, downside.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, from a trading perspective, like this is a floor that we didn't get to take. Because it gapped through 190. So obviously, we like those types of levels. It's actually closer to this now 177 area than Netflix was before that number, where I think there was a chance to maybe play off of this 85, 86, and then work to 77. Now, if anything, I'd be looking for any kind of a bounce to be very, very patient with Netflix. It just might have come too far. Too fast to the downside after rejecting 200 there. So, unfortunately, this might have gotten away from us. Yeah, I look to those mid 170s potential support. Not a great look for them, but I think like the bigger story obviously is what the overall market is going to do. So you want to stick to shorting or being bearish on things that will obviously relatively weak. I don't know if that's a first sort I'd be jumping on at a nice round number. Like in the afternoon, we're trying some little round number bounces. I don't think I would be trying that with Netflix today at 180, that's for sure. I want to address the super chat. Sean Waller asks, what color? And thank you for the super chat. We enjoy the show, except people like it, subscribe. That's all we care about here is we're building the community. But if you're going to send a super chat, I'll answer. What color does the smoke turn when you choke it? Purple. Because that's the only thing that makes any sense, right? Red and blue make purple. So I watched Smurfs when I was growing up, so that seems logical to me. Right now, hopefully, we got to think about the lighter things in life because the market is going to the downside. Sean mentioned the short to ease in, TQQ moving down, Amazon moving down, Micron just moved down toward the low of the day at 64. Intel, of course, also moving downside. We just broke the lows on the future, so I mean, just about everything is taking out the bottom. Neo hasn't done it yet. I'm assuming Baba hasn't done any with those. If it's not a Chinese trade, I'm assuming it's at the low of the day.
On my radar today. I mean, all these levels are gone. I mean, I put that on the note today that we could write it down, for some ideas. We wanted to short in Netflix. We were talking about any kind of a bump up here on a good CPI number, but that doesn't happen. Now Netflix just continues to bleed to the downside. Everything, man. Our net is just rocketing upside a little bit here, but there is a little bit of bounce action happening. Okay, the imbalances just came out. So before we go to Brendan, let's look at these on the NASDAQ side. Look at this. Intel's a buy. Apple's a buy. Like all these things are buys now. Apple a buy, right? SoFi a buy. CCL, whatever. Some of those, but some of these bigger NASDAQ names just great to see there that Apple is a buy, but then there's my TQ as a sell, right? So Apple a buy that controls the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ comes out as a sell. So this is going to be pretty interesting. It's not a huge order, only 250,000, but people are looking to buy Apple here. And you can see that's a daily chart. Let me see if Apple did anything there. Yeah, it did. So there's a nice little bump up for Apple. So I mean, nice bump. I mean, it went from 139.50 back up 50 cents. So there you go. Like it can move 50 cents on nothing in a heartbeat, and it gets some sort of a good news there, and just goes right back up. So I feel like that Apple's probably also short here at that 140. So yeah, we're getting ready to lock and load this market, man. I mean, Amazon continues to tank City here down to the downside. Now taking out. I told you my bid was at 111.50. You know that might be true coming out soon here. So let's watch out for this market. Lots of names pumping to the downside there. And yeah, the imbalances don't seem to matter too much. NASDAQ tried to go upside right there on those imbalances, that little tick. But as you can see, it says, no thank you. Come again back down to the downside here, trying to take down 12,000. Funny, Brendan, at the no matter what happens in the market, we have those magnets at 12,000 seems fun on the NQs.
Definitely. So far, that DD number growing as well on its last day. CGOT popped up here. Positive results on a blood disorder trial. Came out a little bit late in the morning, or pre-market here. 560 was a bottom up to 680. Watch 7 here, and then 750 above that. I mean, it's not necessarily a weak stock overall. If you look at the daily chart, it has come off. But back into this range on the daily chart for COGT, guys.
Yeah, look, there are definitely some small gaps to get to. PALT was making some power moves, had a big $2.80 to $3 area worth watching. I know that AERC, that flush, was doing a little bit of pre-market action, but not doing anything that I'm terribly concerned about, because I think for the first little bit here, we'll be watching some of these big caps, obviously after that number. Back to DocuSign is still looking strong. It is now, it's above that 66 level. It has not dipped down below to give me any kind of entry. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this bid, because if it does flush, I'd rather try to catch it bouncing off 64 more than anything else until I had that buy imbalance we just talked about there, or that you just showed there. I actually saw the order step up. Like, it stepped up right to 39.80 on that buy imbalance. I have a stop in case we go absolutely ballistic. I don't want to get crazy caught short at the bottom in any of these types of moves. I did scout some of this out, and I do have some bids out if we do get that rush to the downside. But yeah, some of the imbalances did come in to the buy side. Tesla, 2 minutes ago, not that bad. Tesla bounced back through 700, so it's now reclaimed 700 3 separate times. 3 times it's failed 700. 3 times it's come right back above there. So that's my sort of pivot line in the sand price for Tesla today, 700.
So I just want to give a couple updates on the start alert. First of all, ANAS. Is today a good time to start a ETF only portfolio? Yes. I think if you're going to start today, then I think you're going to be good because these levels here are pretty low. If you're just going to start to drip in, I think you should do that. Start with 10 or 50% today. Depends on the ETF. I mean, that's part of the question here. But I feel like with everything suppressed so much, probably a good idea. I like the SMH into that, or just start dipping into the NASDAQ and S&P. But definitely don't put in, like I'm talking about 10, 15 points right now, percent half most there. We did get out of that over a little bit. Don't go more than 25, I would say. But here we go. Amazon, we just took a little piece out there just in case there is a rally in this market to start with. I just, want to get a little lighter at Amazon. It's my first out. So 114.60, out 113, $1.60 on that move. And then we got out some there on the PQ, the same thing. In case we do get a market rally here into the open. So I think Demon's going to be a sell all day type of thing. We'll look at that when it comes. Baba with a buy. So let's wait to see what's happening here with only a few minutes left. I want to look at AMD back to 99. Microsoft as well. This could be a fun day, man. Microsoft still at that 260. Let's rock and roll. No real levels yet, but the market's about to open up. Tell us what's going on.
And you know who's on the bell. Of course, we do it for you on Friday, and the special treat for you later on in the afternoon. Tony's going to be joining us. 3, 2, he's dancing it off. Now bring it, Tony.
Whenever Tony's around, it's just a good day. So Tony will be here this afternoon as well, filling in for me this afternoon. So we'll start the weekend off early, but we're going to start the day off right now with a little bit of trading. There goes Microsoft. The levels here are very, very nuts, man. Like, Microsoft was just at 260.50. I turn over, like, these are all deep prints going off right now. So that really sucks. So it's going to be hard to see the level 2 versus time and sales as those deep prints are now gone. But here comes Microsoft, 259, taking out 260 again to the upside. Wow, there goes Microsoft back up. Like we said, man, the market retracing nicely now. Nice move back up through the 50 period on the NASDAQ. Let's see where we're going on Apple. Microsoft retakes that level. That might have been a good to come out, but Palantir, Microsoft, Apple, everything's moving around.
Yeah, DocuSign is starting to come back in here. Try taking out that top. Now it's pulling back in. See, this is what it would always look like. You're trying to short off a high on a stock that's down, and it's bouncing off support levels. So I might take a little bit of a dip into this one, a little bit higher for a little few less shares. If I can get 65, 50s, or 60s, we'll jump into the party. I still have that intel. Yeah, now DocuSign wants to break. Oh, yeah, it looks like the jailbreak is on. I might have to chase this one a little bit. It's a breakout. I did want to see if it could break the high. I thought it might dip first, and of course, I'm putting bids out for the dip, and then there goes DocuSign break. I just grabbed some on the breakout at 67.14, so it's not a huge short interest, right? So this is not like, I forget the name now. I'm thinking the last one that did this, but yeah, it's not like a gap or anything like that. Because it's not a heavy short interest, but still down 25%. If the market rallies, it's just got room to run. So take the breakout instead of the dip. If it gets to 70, I think that's probably enough. We can talk about the aftermarket levels, but
today is the rollover of the contracts between May and June or something, I think. So it's a weird day to trade. So remember that. That's what Arun said earlier.
We are getting that balance. I like Neo for the long, which means I got my stock in place on Intel and Micron, and Neo's now trying to break back out above that 19 level. I'm not chasing anything early. And DocuSign's a bit of a different story because I felt like that one had gone down so far, but Neo, I still want to be buying in.
Apple's bouncing off the middle view up right now, going down.
Of our trades here, we went long on we got out of Amazon there at 113, whatever, 60 there, and the bottom there of 113. So Amazon dancing around a little bit, but we are back into a long now on AMD. I said this was going to be the strong name for me. So let's just see if it goes. I mean, we were just in the money 50 cents on this trade. 98.50, if that dumps out, then we can get out of AMD, and I don't think that would be a problem. We're trying to get a little longer here in front of that 98.50. There it is. We get filled. There it is. Now we're filled. So now we're going to see what happens with AMD. Hopefully we trace it. We're going to try to hold out on that 98.50. If it breaks, we're gone. We're not just going to sit here and average into longs on a day like this. So we're going to wait to see here. But right now we're going to try AMD. The market looks like it wants to slip back in. That was a good long for me. It might not work out, but this was a name that I wanted off of upgrades, off of yesterday. And let's just wait to see here. But AMD, the name that I'm long, and yeah, only one position right now. We got out of TQ, we got out of Amazon. Looks like getting out and going long. Mistake right there.
Bounce.
Lower. It looks like we're going to have to just respect these shorts here again today. AMD was the one we wanted long. We just tested it there. Not a big hit, but a hit either way. Got to start reversing into these shorts like ASAP.
Yeah, and speaking of reversals, Netflix did
Holding.
pop. If you were looking for a pop and fade, this actually did get to 185. It ran $4 to the upside and then reversed.
Order filled.
Oh, give me a break. I'll try to get this. I didn't think we'd have any shot at seeing a price level like that, $4 bounce. If we can catch this with a short, I'm going to see if I can't short a pop in Netflix. Brenda.
As you were for most
Target
of the
filled.
stocks, there's Pinduo Duo as well. Now 5.5%, although it did reject 63 pretty hard there, back to the downside, but huge volume on PDD.
Oh yeah, Pinduo DVD. Yeah, lots of stuff popping here. You went short Apple because honestly, like I've been wanting to short this name and have been short the last little while. We'll go back. I mean, I said we got to find a name. Remember I said I wanted to smash Microsoft at 260? Like,
Apple's at 23.6%.
Calling these plays, and then I look
And it
over
just
at
broke it.
else, like,
Low is 139. It's at 139.6.
From those levels, from those levels.
Lows at 139.4. Now it's at 139.65.
Where's the level?
Bouncing off the 23%. Fighting with it.
But right now, we're into the short on Apple. We just hit some out on the day low. Let's see if it does test that 139.35. Apple's the only short that I have on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I still have Intel and Micron. They'll still manage to stay below their levels. I think the thing with those is they gave you that, the big shells that we're breaking down on the daily chart. This is me trying to catch that short pop on Netflix just now at 184 and change. And it goes right to my price and then just flush $3. This is how big the ranges are at this open. I'm trying not to chase anything and be overly patient because this is ridiculous. Like, give me a rate. You went $4.5 to the upside, then turns off one order, crazy to the downside there. Now we're back above 700 on Tesla. So this has now gone back and forth 3 times. I'm letting it settle itself out. It's the same thing with DocuSign, man. Like that dip, it came into the dip price I was trying to get at the open after taking the break. And then gives me the move right back $1. So unless you have something that you like in a dollar range, just kind of hold for it, man. Hold serve because let the market take its direction. This whipsaw action in the first 30 minutes can crush you. Like I remember saying to myself, just check back yesterday. You put everything you liked on instead of 9:30 and 10 o'clock. It was ridiculous. It would have been the greatest day ever. But that first 30 minutes,
I'm seeing
ranges
somewhat of the head and shoulders to the decline here.
There is going to be a rally.
That's why I do that line.
About that, like I'm starting to get out. Like I'm out of half of Apple already, but we've got to take for it. We went down to the day's low of Apple, so we're just sort of starting scalping that now. As we come
It's not
back
flushing,
hold,
so maybe it's just going to creep down.
At some point, maybe the market finds a bottom here. And I don't know, there's going to be no bell that goes off. I keep saying that every time. Like, it's not like, oh my God, there's a bottom. So I wish there was, man. But there goes Apple now through 139. Wow, maybe. Just touched 139, did not break it. That's that bottom there. So we have 77. We've actually made back what we lost on 8. So all good on that one. But right now,
everything's making a new low.
Looks like it might have bounced off 139. So this is what I mean. There are going to be areas where, hey, the market says that's enough, time to bounce back, because there are going to be better dip buy. You actually answered that question already about the ETFs, right? Like, there's a lot of names that are very, very depressed right now. So let's just start to ease out of some of these shorts and then watch out. Look, here goes the NASDAQ back.
Big move for Bitcoin this morning, along with equities, guys, as expected to the downside. Here's Coinbase. So trying to bounce through 60 once again. Huge volume alert there, trying to get back above 60, down 5% per point.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, $60. That's not NEO. 60 is a pretty big level. I'm just baffled by how, well, not baffled, but NEO does not want to fall. Like, one of the stocks that doesn't have big whiffs to the downside is NIO. I didn't want to chase it. If I try getting along, I might have to take something in this 10 range and then try to get it out at 19, and then we sort of go back to the well if it does break lower. Netflix, I finally got the fill, and as quickly, let's think about it, I finally get the fill 184 quarter. It instantly pops down, bounces off 183, gives $1, and it is right back up towards our entry price, all in a matter of seconds. So this is where you don't want to be over trading Tesla, like I said, back and forth. One other test of 700. This time, Tesla bounced off 700. This time, it didn't break 700. So you've now got a wick-off bottom at the open below 700 on Tesla, with the market still trending to the downside. But at least now, it looks like this is trying to hold serve at that 700 level. We'll see what happens. That and NEO could be some good entry points if they can manage to hold together. I think you're talking AMD. I don't want to sleep on the other big things, but what's crazy about Intel, it is still bouncing and projecting that 40 level. It's a huge level on the daily chart. Go back all the way like 6 or 7 years. I think to find that level 140. So it's still rejecting that level to the upside. It's a similar thing with Micron, but you bounce off a level like that eventually you break.
It is getting killed, and what's his name? AMD is upside right now. So I think you got down 3+%. So we definitely thought about the right names here, but we don't have them on board right now. We're flat. We took out Apple when it took
looks like it's building up right here to shoot up.
That took out 140. Now came back in a little bit. So yeah, Apple's
tries a dangerous down.
As I said, that's
it did break this line.
There. We actually got over the last 30% on a break of 120 there. Now it's coming back. So what's up?
Airline showing strength. Guys, on this note, apparently the Biden administration is going to announce today that international travelers, air travelers specifically, no longer have to produce a negative COVID test to enter the U.S. So CNN reporting that right now.
But this time, that's hard. Coming through, yeah, Canada has policies on all that as well.
Apple just turned down.
Look at 860 right now. So NIO is coming back in right now, 60. That's a level that we talked about holding out for the last little while. Held out yesterday afternoon. So maybe this is a long bounce spot for NIO. It's at 860. Like, I really want to go long, to be honest with you. Just because I wonder how
Apple's back to 23.6.
In this NASDAQ, you could go long. It's bouncing around that 12,000 with the bottom of 19.8. So I'm still waiting for some sort of I don't know, an indication here on what name I got to look at here. But that NEO is an interesting one at that 1870.
Oh yeah, hold up, that COGT. I'm pretty sure this will be, Brendan actually brought this one down with extension right before the open at least, but that just broke out on the daily to 740. My 15 is not going to be any good. But this broke out of the daily through 740. 750, now that it wicks through, has a little bit of size. And realistically, I mean, where else are you going to find, small cap, big cap, that's fine. We'll go all over the place. But this is a huge, huge volume spiker. And we saw what happened yesterday with some of these, where they just continue to run through. When it takes out a pretty key level, I think you want to be very, very patient if you're trying to fade it. And just try to trust that if it holds any kind of support, like if it holds 7, might have another leg to it. Yeah, there it goes, right through that 750 again. It actually blew through a 10,000 share order at that 750 to get up here. I'm going to see how expensive it is or cheap it might be for those locates because, oh baby, we have 3 locates on this. Yesterday, it was super cheap on that dollar stock. They did a very crowded short because day traders can take as many as they want. That can make it really, really ugly when they get blown out. This one is
So I would consider this a low float day.
I shorted
Not really moving much.
Early, just waiting till everybody was blown out. Not shorting this thing. Not to maybe like $10 crazy, or until I see sellers really.
Brandon, what's up?
Things in general seem to be bouncing off of that travel news, guys. Again, if you missed it, Biden administration reportedly going to announce today no more negative COVID tests required if you're an air traveler going into the U.S. Big volume spike on Expedia right now. Flip over if I can. Here, there we go. And show you AAL ripping up 2%.
Yeah, I was looking at
Traveling into the U.S., no more
look at
COVID tests.
Jets ETF is also a thing to look at if you want to get exposure to everything in that space. That's an $18.50 up to $19 there. JETS. We went long on AMD. Let's just take another piece out here on this one. We're in the money $1. Well, we're in the money 8 cents. So we just take that piece out there on AMD. We want to go long. That's crazy. Like I wrote that on the 98. That went down to 97.50 right there on that move. Right there, 97.75. That little downtick. So maybe look off that for some eyes. But it just goes back to days high. You hear that part? That's the number that we'll look at there. The 100 level coming into play here, hopefully soon. As it's already been up here and bounced around. So it was already north of 100, sorry.
Going to get some more tea.
Flushed this down to 97, and now we're trying to rebound on what is a positive thing. And the market's trying to get back going here. So here we go. Another day of volatility is here. And I think we're going to be here all summer long with some of these crazy moves happening in the market. Looking at Apple taking out 140 as well right now.
Yeah, and that COGT, I don't know what I want to call it. COGT, why not, or COGT, whatever. I'll forget the name of the actual company eventually. I took an 8 break, and I probably should have just hit it at 750 when I did see it on the level 2. My first instinct was to see how expensive locates were. There's a battle happening where everybody that took this break is getting out in that 808
I'm back.
15 range. So I just joined the party. I was sitting in front of 8 quarters. I just got some out there at 815 to try to cover something. I do feel like if it pulls back, I want to take some profits so that if it pulls back, I'm trying to respect that previous 770 level and then see if I can take a bounce off this. And I don't know where it's going to go. I'm not saying, when I said $10, I just said that because yesterday, I forget the name of the symbol already, that's how old I am. I said it could go to $1.50 when it broke $1, and then I shorted it like 8 times before it got to $1.50. So I just think about the most obvious level, and if I want to jump into a short sort of willy-nilly, like I don't care what's happened to that point, something like a 10 makes a little bit more sense. But we're going to be in the long for now. I want to see it pull back into that 760 area before I reload. I scalped some up. That doctor sign on. DocuSign now looking to possibly break out that 68. I think once that happens, we can get a run into 70. It's one of those where if it doesn't take the low, there's only one way for it to go. That's what happened in DocuSign. I don't know if you got Neil, but
that was a sick ride.
You get
doesn't take the low, there's only one way to go. Oh, I might have to put that on a shirt. How's it going? No, I didn't get that.
I actually didn't realize. I thought you might have got the Neo. I'm on the bid thinking I could have got that 1860. Neo bounces at 1870, so there's no Neo long for me either. I kind of feel like the one thing I want to do alongside, the market's basing out, and I'm telling myself not to chase it, and just every bone in my body is now telling me to chase it. Like, don't chase it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we are right now back up to 100 here on AMD. So we're going to look to see where this name wants to go from here. But I'm thinking upside, maybe. So AMD, nice little move here.
Apple's
And by the
now
way,
back
I
at
am
middle
looking
VWAP,
long again on my arch nemesis from yesterday, Meta, and I don't really know
trying
why.
to get
But that 180
hold
right
through it.
looking pretty juicy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cancel that order.
Rejected.
I'm going to wait to see on that one. There's better longs out there than Meta right now, including AMD, which we're actually in, so we can watch out for that one. You are bouncing right now on
Order
this
filled.
period. So, there is possibilities here for some shorts to come through. If you
Target
fall
filled.
through that 50 period, tried to go.
I took that because it was at that line and it doji with a big candle. Took the first candle instead of waiting for the second candle as I normally do because the second candle hasn't been working for me. Only the first candle is actually showing any movement. So you gotta have the balls to grab that first candle. The only reason I grabbed it because it was a doji and it was at that white resistance line. Go put my headphones up.
Those could be the shorts to look for right now. So, your boy did it again. What's up, Alan Atkins? He took the 200, 700 long there on Tesla. So, if you want to spin the money for that one, we'll spin it. I haven't looked at it, but nice trade there for you on that one. As Tesla, I hope you're out of it now because market's, actually, it's still at the highs. I was going to say the market's coming back in here, but yeah, Tesla, good call there, Alan. That's super, super strong. What's up, Red?
DocuSign, guys, just popping up on volume here. I guess about these pre-market highs, trying to get back to 70. Starting to go back higher for DocuSign.
It's about to get to that 69 level, which that's just a round number. But if you look at the daily chart, which I didn't pull up here.
See, the second red candle is massively green.
That was previous support. A lot of times, that's what I think about for a target. Like, what is the previous support? Can it turn into resistance to the upside? Because let's be real, DocuSign's quarter sucked. Like, it wasn't good. Like, it's rallying because, what? I know, like, it's rallying because it just couldn't fall any further, and it was down 25%.
Apple's still fading into the 0%.
I don't want to sit there and try and get the perfect out. It just bounced off the
Third candle might be working. I've seen some third candles working
if I was trying
lately.
to catch a short, I'd be saying to myself, okay, there's your wick. It just went parabolic. Be happy that we got both trades, which was the breakout of the high.
But right there is where Apple just made a tiny little bit new low and then bounced back up.
Fantastic series. I still think. I thought it was going to be Golden State 6. It's 2-1. Now it's 4-7.
Yeah, it's 2-1. It's still a great series there.
I still think they take it, but
so much consolidation.
They have the pedigree there. We'll just see if Boston's D is so solid. So we'll just see how that plays out right now. Maybe one more long here as Apple broke through 139 on the downside, but it's held it previously. So we'll wait to see if it continues to want to hold that level. Looks like it wants to go one little leg down here again on Apple, but we'll try to defend it. We're long here at 27. We're not going to give this too far downside, but if this market, I just want to see if it doesn't want it. I just want to see if the market wants to bounce here, which it doesn't, off of 12,000. So we'll see about that. It's testing it right now. It's at 12,014. That bottom of the day, if that ever gets in, we'll obviously be out of that Apple trade. So right now, doesn't look like it wants to do too much here going upside. We're still fine. This is only now it's starting to go. We're only out now 10 cents
Apple's
on this trade.
bouncing
Apple does have a new
off the low 138.88.
Get out, it does go back up there. But right now, Apple looking like, it wants to dance around that 139. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, this market really needs to get going. So here we go to the upside, AAPL. Let's see where we go from here. AMD just existed. We were actually bidding 90.
Sean is long AMD and Apple right here.
That was the level that we wanted also on AMD. So, we're long Apple. We just missed that long in your advanced micro devices. That would have been better, man. I wish we were long that one. Because right now we'd be laughing if we were. But instead we're crying because Apple doesn't want to go back to the upside. So we picked probably the wrong one again. Microsoft heading down. The NASDAQ is going to break this 12,000. We only like these longs if we're above this level here, and we're not. We're not even right now. So watch out for this Apple long. It's very disappointed in this trade.
And look, obviously, Dominic, I wouldn't be too happy about back to that long. Remember, I'm kind of a curse with these when I don't short them, right? Because I talked about the base rate, and then, there's a bunch of sellers in front of the quarter, which is usually the first target. The same thing happened the second time it got to that quarter, so I then took more shares off. and then waited for it to get down to that 760 for a bit of a bounce. If it can't respect these levels, and guess what? The old play, which old would have been wick high, short 795 here, and then getting some out at 760. Instead, I'm actually
Gauntlet Mini is not registering anything. It hasn't for days.
My gut tells me that I should stick to the plan usually, but we stuck to the plan in Micron.
Yeah.
It's not case closed just yet. We're going to try and knock this one out. I got a bad wick on Intel while all this was going on and got stopped out of Intel, which did not take out the high of the day. And I can tell you that is a bad.
I'm on my Earn to Trade account here.
I'll try to get back into it, but the market just flushed on me.
So we're good there.
All the way through on Micron. And shout out Brankles, Brandon. We've been talking about this level back and forth at 66. And it was like, we both reminded each other, remember Micron 66, man, that's going to go. We have bad CPI. Well, heck, it was probably going to go anyway. It probably didn't matter. But you get below a level like that in the daily chart, and you just want to be short where you're not. And I feel like if there's one thing that you want to be in all day,
Apple's working its way back down to its short-term
that's the case.
Fibonacci 23.6%.
Actually showing 85 level.
It's gone past the big one now.
But it won't take any levels out. Further to the downside, like all you're seeing
The
is
big
barcoding in a lot
negative 23.6% on the Apple that I've drawn is at right at 139.64-ish. And the new short-term 23.6% is at 138.01-ish. Apple's just grinding down the bottom VWAP now, not touching it, but
okay, yeah. So we'll.
It just touched it just now. So Apple just touched
exactly what I said I wouldn't do.
the bottom VWAP at 138.6.
My target was 111, and yet I'm getting out of this trade. Like, it's just crazy why I'm even out of some of these trades. It's absolutely nuts. You should just be going short on absolutely everything. This market continues to tick down, 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 down. So, yeah, there we go, man. Apple's going to take a 138. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, here comes another one, guys. Stitch Fix, I just saw rolling over. If you missed it, not good for their earnings aftermarket yesterday. Volume as we broke back through 675, almost 20% now for SFIX.
Yeah, I knew there was something that I was forgetting about this morning when we were going over all those names, and it was definitely because. But you know what? It hasn't taken out its low yet. So. Yeah, you just rolled over from the bottom, but oddly enough, it hasn't taken out that bottom. Still a chance it wants to bounce. If anything, it was just like DocuSign. It was a bit of a breakout. Doesn't take out the low on a huge gap down and bad earnings. It breaks out and then gets to the high. Like I can't tell you how many times I've seen that setup work. And instead, when
this right here was the opening bounce and fail.
Worked on DocuSign. Could have had it on Stitch Fix.
This is the pre-market last high.
Because
and this is the pre-market previous last high.
In Asia, but if I see this thing,
this is at 7:30 in the morning.
There's going to be a shorting opportunity on D.
Crack 7:30 a.m.
It's managing now that the market's starting to come back in. It's managing to still hold.
This was nightly consolidation. It did pretty much nothing all night long, and this is what happened yesterday. At lunchtime, and it crashed all afternoon into the close here. This was the close. This was a small continuation. This was the day change here.
One of those was Alibaba, and that 110 level, it's got a wick bottom through that 110. So that did hold up, but look where this came from. It fell $5 into that level. Yes. I think Alibaba about the church, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's everything. I mean, it's just so crazy because you started the day, remember, I was like, oh, we want to smash Amazon to the downside. My target was 111.50. That's already been hit, and I'm not short. And then Microsoft, we wanted that 260 break. I thought that was going to be the best one. And there it is right there. It gives us a 260 break at 933, sorry. So it bounced around a little bit there. It was kind of chaotic off the open.
Tesla's setting up for a head and shoulders. Tesla might bounce right here.
We're at the bottom, but we're not. I mean, these things just keep on falling down. We're trying to bottom pick Apple. We're trying to bottom pick
for a consolidation of
so here we go. Like AMD's going to drop out at
the right arm or the right shoulder.
this is getting uglier on this long. And I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to get this in.
It's just creeping down.
I don't know. I don't
The problem
want
with a creeper like this at this level right here, and this level right here, slow creeper like this at these levels could show a nasty bounce up.
And the last couple of days, and this is the thing that I'm just most upset about because you've been wanting these shorts. It's just that when I look at them,
Tesla
I feel
just
like
crossed its.
overextended, but they're not. There's so much room to the downside here on pretty much all of these
Its
names.
nipple line.
Taking down that 97.50. We're still in it.
Nipple line is crossed on Tesla.
We got to start picking the wounds here a little bit.
I just said, I can't get into
It's
that.
bouncing just lower than the nipple line. Here she comes.
See, I guess maybe
Tesla's making a pretty good bounce right here at the nipple line.
Remember, like, what happened at 750? Like, when it was here, there was a big seller. When I say big seller, I'm going to guess it was someone
Right shoulder nipple line, big bounce
break out at 750.
for Tesla.
Someone was shorting it at 750. They got up. So when it gets back to that price, there was a bit of a buyer. So if I would usually short it here to here, that's where you want to be low to long. But it still can't get past this 825. Everybody, like there's sellers galore every time it gets that price. That's day traders probably once again. So I don't know if it has a second leg in it. We'll have to see. Keep my ear to the ground on that one. But Neo, I just got into that long. So we'll see if it ends up holding that bottom. So Neo, we talked about that 845 to 860 channel. Well, we're long in front of it now, and we're kind of holding on to your life. Netflix is holding about $1.50 to $2 in the money and doesn't want to seem to go any further. Micron is kind of doing the same thing where it's giving you the shorts, come down, but it's not really testing those lows that we saw after the CPI number. So, like we said, man, it's 10 o'clock now. Like, revisit some of the things you liked. Are they still valid? Futures are on their low.
Yeah.
So it's something. And we're not really moving off of it here. So if you really like some levels, kind of go back to that. Like I wanted to go back to Pinduo Depot. Yeah, I mean,
Sounds like a chainsaw outside. I hope that's not all damn day long.
It did make a huge move for that 63. That was a big level the other day. We like 63. And we're probably not going to be able to see that. So go back. I kind of hope that's at a level I like to short.
Pam's cutting down the other tree today.
And I mean, I'm about to get stuff that AMD just tried to go back to the upside. It didn't go. All of
Let me
these
chainsaw all fucking day long.
So we might as well just end that discussion right now. If it does start to go at some point, but I mean, right now, no. I mean, just lower. All these names just keep collapsing.
Apple's making more continuation down.
Then you're just laughing because everything keeps on breaking. So some nice news to the downside here today. It's unbelievable that I'm not still short Amazon. We've already talked about that. XOM maybe that's positive as oil right now rallying back to positive here. Oil. What's AMC? 12. That's not bad. Remember you have Jurassic Park coming out this weekend as well.
Jurassic Park.
Meta, yes. Meta maybe here as well.
Apple's still cranking down.
That we liked as well. Where's that short right here from the morning? 170.
I just don't think this is going to break here.
For some reason, though, Microsoft right now is holding out at this and I'm going to look at this one more ball. So that's going to be sleeping. But AMD down to 97 again. Yeah, sleep on. There's still points. Yeah, there's some
Apple's negative 23.6% is at 38 even. We're now trading Apple at 138.32.
But I'm holding on to it. I just want Netflix to make a move with the market. It just won't fall any further. And it's the same thing with Micron. It's going down with money, but it's not really flushing any further.
Oh, that was a big dirty red candle right there.
We are still possibly heading to the next level. Look at this. But we're in a chalk zone, I think, on the NASDAQ.
I think right here that the S&P is going to crack this green line, and it's going to go down just for a hair and then bounce back up, like it just kind of did. It's going to be a fake break. Because Apple's going to do something at 138 even. And it's about 14 cents until it gets to. I think it's just going to come down right here, and
Yeah,
reverse.
Here's a look at where we're at right now. Long red to show you here. 2.3 for the S&P. The down by 2.1% downside.
A little bit further down for Apple. Almost there.
2.8.6.
Still 14 cents away from 38.
You got the picture. It's a, two quotes, Trader Brad, Free Fall Friday so far. Trader Brad back in the building.
Trader Pratt, Free for All Friday.
NIO.
Free for all. Free for all. Well, free for all.
Free market close here on these four downside.
Could have taken that trade, but I was scared to because Apple was at
On the same front, got up to almost 720.
its low at the 23.6 line.
For the record, when he said NIO, I literally got stopped there. Yeah, it was right as he said it, Brendan. Usual, the psychic powers that are a lot of times it's a big trade. This time, it's and of course it's a long, right? Like it's a long, so it's in this market. But look, I mean, now that this is going to be caught, take another now. But guess what's more on the upside that I didn't just take out at 850? Hog T is that is my Hog T is continuing to rally to the upside. It did bounce off that 760. If I'm hunting for short point at 10, which I'm definitely
Apple does have a negative 61.8, down at 136.37.
Man, look at these markets, especially referencing. If I see a wick top at a level like this, I'm always going to be thinking I should be trying to get out of here. It's like there's a wick top through that 830 or an 850 level. It's a nice round number. You just bounced off 750, 750, 8, 850.
Just didn't trust that short, especially as slow as it's moving.
Unnecessarily. I'll get run over at $10, but just not here.
Here's this line here.
That's a level that makes sense. Tesla, by the way, yeah, 700 so much better. I did do the wick bottom.
This is a measured move from here to here,
I don't think I have any long ideas
here,
still valid at this point. Everything is
here.
about breaking down. Now Micron is saving up the most for holding on for dear life. Netflix is also about to take out the bottom here at 181. 180 is a psychological level more than anything else. I'm not defending a 180 on Netflix.
See how this candle's big, smaller, smaller, smaller.
That's target that I talked about Bob.
Big, big, small reverse.
Well, Bob got that 110. It might have some support left. Look at the gap on Bob.
If you're gonna get the move, you got to call it up here.
All I see is these shells that look really ugly below. Brendan.
So basically, just watching a volume scanner here, guys. The anything inverse ETF, so financials, tech, SPXU, SES, FAZ, they're screaming right now on this volume scanner that I watch. Here's the 10-year. I showed you this right after that. It got up to 308. We're at 312 and a half now, taking our day highs on the 10.
Yeah, we finally went short on something here. Dollars off. I think we just went to Microsoft at least finally. Went short at 256.
I'm gonna go look at Bam Street.
Very short. Not easy to get though. Better level, I feel like. But once you get these shorts, man, it's just like deep. And you have no problem getting out of it. Like you want. So we are now close to being out of everything on Software. Our best out is down here. 86 on the downside here on that first break. So that's a good little trade. I'm just going to start to get there. There's earnings tank again. And it's like you get any price you want. So made back a little bit of money here on that one. We made back what we basically the only losers today was Apple. It sucked. Obviously, monster winner for us. Would be so much better now.
Apple's bouncing off its 23.6 short term. Short term.
That's here as I add some if they haven't already on this
But
big time push to the downside.
the ES hasn't made its full measured move yet. So I think it's going to bounce a little bit right here, come down to here, this area.
We'll just continue. We're almost out of Microsoft, so not really worried about this one.
Don't imagine it doing an exact reversal here, but definitely could.
So, got to get back above this little level. Let's see if we that 12,000 on the Nasdaq is sort of where I feel like the peg is.
Yeah, I just rang the register. It's not that I'm drawing a line in the sand, but Mike Brown, fantastic. Just put a wick bottom through the low of the day, so I got out of it. Wick bottom on this market. I'm going to hold on to Netflix to be sure, but I saw a few things starting to bounce here. Yeah, there's definitely some bounces starting to happen here, at least attempting to. But not, you said Amazon, right? Like, just, good.
I'm pissed off about Amazon because
it did bounce once.
Whatever, it's not, I mean, this is so stupid. Like, I was short Amazon 129s, yesterday like 122s, 124 the day before, short today 114, and I think with dollars, I'd call it 50.
A little bounce here
out there is
on
before the market opens.
Tesla,
Anyways,
Apple,
down to
and
110. All the
Microsoft.
average on here is all shorts, and I lost all the money long and only made money short. So obviously today, that's something, man. Like, that sucks. And yeah, you should. Anyone that bought Amazon because of that split,
Tesla has an inverted,
not
an inverted,
you take the win when that comes out there. I have Amazon in the long term. So
head,
obviously, should have still got out of
well,
it, but
head and body.
collapsing now. JP Morgan, some of the banks starting to go to the downside. Goldman Sachs after both. JP Morgan, look at this move, straight to the downside as well. Really no bottoms for any of these names. So I don't know what we're going to go to. I wanted to go back to AMD, but I'm getting destroyed on AMD today. So
the market's moving so slow. So to catch a move, you might need to switch this from 12.3 to 12.2.
Get back down, and I don't want to buy top. If we buy like 96.30s or 96.40s, I think that might be worth it here on AMD. Just to
go away for the day.
It was a strong name earlier.
You're at 1456, so it's almost $1,500.
It's going to be the right long. I mean, we tried to get Meta. Remember, I was thinking.
Ooh, Tesla's tanking right here.
And that's sort of been holding.
Tesla just broke its
short there. So there's a few names to look at.
upward trend, head and body.
Run. Now back down to 530. So
Tesla going to come back and touch its
and then we'll go from
belt.
There. But so far, so
it's called
good.
belt, titties, shoulders, and head.
Right back down to
Tesla's coming back down to its belt now pretty hard.
Until you get a reason to get out, man. We'll talk about doing.
Yeah, I mean, even DocuSign. So I got a DocuSign on the curl at 69, and it does go to 70. But now that it's
Tesla's cranking down to its belt. Not there yet. Almost to the bottom of the belt. Now, yep, Tesla just touched its belt, and it's going lower. Apple is turning down. Microsoft is turning down.
I think so. I probably stole that from the chat.
I'll probably get a quick short scalp here, but
right now, it's 6.
Oh, Tesla just hit the bottom VWAP. Neil froze.
93. I looked up. So I'm just looking for something that I can actually short on the pop that isn't DocuSign.
Let's
we
do
talked
a
about some of the Chinese things going some straight. Pinduo Duo. It's still up 2.5%, but these all fell as well, right? Like it's down at $60 here. I need to short this at 62. Like there's not enough of a bounce. Try to short these pops.
I don't like it here because Apple's at back to 23.6.
Trying to catch one of the relatively strong.
I could
hold on to Netflix. I think you
might be able to get that into this blue line.
It's
just so dangerous
right now. Here's a note on the automakers, guys. We'll show you forward in a second here, but this report this morning just emphasizing record high gas prices.
It's not worth it. It's a very
GM, Ford, even STLA, which is Stellantis, all getting crashed.
Average
right
trade setup.
Down 3.5%.
There's nothing special about it.
130. Now Apple's at 138.
Yeah, everything's
down here.
Kind of.
Disney. I mean, you guys called this out. I mean, we
Apple's
at this. Disney right here, 100, man. Like that bottom was 99.
Wait to see if Apple cracks this.
Yes, like again, good levels here. But look what the chart looks like. I mean, to stand in the way of this is just crazy. Microsoft back down to day's low right now. So there it goes, man. I mean, if all these names are getting kept up, I know you got Intel down to 39.59.
Oh my God,
that's not even that bad. Actually, it's not.
Okay, then I don't feel.
1% down today. So I mean, it's still bad in the scheme of things, but it's kind of trying to hold up as well. So there is that there on Intel, but I don't know, man. I don't know where the longs are going to be. Trace a little bit. We just have to stick with our guns here about this 12,000 level. until we see anything like that, man, it's downside. Okay? I'm just disgusted about Amazon being down to 110.
Yeah, see how it bounced that wick up right there and then came back down.
That's a dollar in the money. Other than that, man, just waiting to find
Apple's crashing through, making new lows. Could take a short here just for 2 ticks. Just don't like it.
But because it broke 350,
I don't like to play creepers because Apple just broke that. And this is a very dangerous zone where it will just fucking rocket ship up. So
it's so easy to want to try to catch
I think that.
I'm looking over to anything that gives you a chance.
I mean, is it just gonna keep creeping down all day?
196. That's probably already gone through one.
Sometimes you gotta have some balls to pull the trigger.
It happens to get to that.
But not right here.
Which is the other name. Rolled up here. Yeah, that's getting close to 170 level on NVIDIA.
Wait for your setup.
On NVIDIA. Like I had a level written down for this, and it never came anywhere close to giving me a fade off 180. But this is another name. Like, look at this. Like, it just had this as resistance 170 like 2 weeks ago. Broke out from there and didn't go 10% that's the upside. And now we're right back to that level. And that's still 10% off of the May low. Yeah, like, think about that for a second.
Think about it for a second. We got a big move at 9 o'clock. It's a specific time frame, right?
That's how big the rally
now it's 9:12,
and we're only
and it's kind of just kind of
if it's huge,
pooping out.
Huge, I would take like an 05 or like an 01 or an 03 long. If it's nothing there, I might just try to scalp the short.
Okay, so we'll people in the chat talking about NIO. So yeah, we'll definitely have a look at this one because again, I'm trying to think that this Nasdaq's going to bounce, but it's been completely wrong so far here today. NIO obviously down here. We have some weakness in the Brendan just mentioned in the car sector. So industry there should be automotives should be coming back in here on the daily. We've got 1755 there.
Why didn't I trust that?
Move to the downside.
It did exactly what I said it was going to do earlier. It was going to go like this and then come down to that line.
We're just trying to sit there.
You just didn't trust yourself to do it. You're too worried about the bounce.
To zoom out on some of these charts is kind of ridiculous because we're so far down from some levels right now. But there's 18 right into here, so there wasn't consolidation around this.
Could be the turnaround here.
A little bit back here on that long. AMD again. Wow, 95 right here.
See how we hit this right here?
For AMD that we like, but we've already tested some of these longs here. It hasn't really worked out today. So
Apple's jumping up.
In the last 3 days, man, down from 110 down to 95, and getting into this area again for some support. But every area like that was support. We had support at 98.
Microsoft just hit that downturn line and grew.
Well along with that. So let's just look at our NIO long that we have right now. It's back in money, 1 cent off that average down there. So, lots of room to go on NIO. We're going to have to hold out for that. I'm thinking back to here, like 1860 maybe.
Looks like Apple
drop it to 18. That's NIO. It just looks like
has a long wicket top.
These are just
trying.
Sold. So be very, very careful with all of your positions right here.
Yeah, and just in terms of key levels, NVIDIA didn't quite get to that. It looks like it printed 170.18. I didn't really see that, but trying to catch
there's a second candle off the bottom that you could have took. Second candle.
110 here. So there are some key prices that are actually holding right now. I might try one of these. And one
will it come back up to here?
Happens to be Amazon.
Could do.
Netflix is catching a bounce. That's the only short that I'm still in. So I am looking to see if I can get some.
A lot of people going long right here. Didn't quite hit that 62%.
By the way, I probably got out. I probably got out of it a little bit too early to try to stick with it. It just reversed off.
This is such a down market. You didn't want to take the second.
With that key $10 level, Tesla did hold at 690. It got through 693. For now, has held. I'd much rather something which is really tight to a big level. And that's going to be Amazon here, which I just got into. And remember, we're day trading here.
Unfortunately, first day of recording.
A lot of people feel like, we just go with the short trend. For me,
there's a chainsaw grinding all day long.
That makes sense. Even a small bounce can probably take you to 111 here, and that's essentially what I'm going to be playing for. But if this goes through 110, This is not one of those, oh, I'm giving it to 109.70 or I'm giving it to 109.50. Now I'm giving it to 109.99. If it breaks 110 by a penny, I want to be out of this trade.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, right? Neil and I hopefully don't enter too many trades without having some kind of a plan. Although sometimes for me it seems like I don't. But right now we are back long Microsoft right here. We can see if it wants to hit off. And again,
Microsoft is crossing that line, that trend line I drew now.
Just going long now on Microsoft, and we're long at 6 weeks.
And
so
Sean's long.
Any kind of, I mean, I was just literally at 35 trying to take some out
on Microsoft.
Don't want to be there. Did I just
right here.
No, I did not again. So I don't know what happened. I thought I just got 35. So let's see. Come on, 35s. There it is. Okay, so there we go. We get it out. Some out anyways on Microsoft. Let's see if it retraces back to the upside. Again, when these moves start to happen.
Sean's playing a little bounce here.
Wrong, but I feel like when I look at it, some of these levels, there is some bouncing happening here. So, take a little bit out. If you can hold something for a big move back to 12,000 possibly on the NASDAQ, it might be prudent to do that. But again, these shorts have been fire, man. They've been awesome. And I just feel like it's a little silly here to talk about holding longs forever. So let's just get out on any kind of a bump up. I mean, we're making money back on these plays. So it's not the complete end of the world. If we were stuck in and we were like stuck long right now, then that might be a little bit of a concern. It's just there's going to be bouncing opportunities. You can see we're making some money back. There goes NIO, a little bit back up to the upside. Hopefully Softy can make that same move back, and we'll try to make back like half or so of what we've lost on. I mean, again, my big red stock here is AMD. We trusted it today, failed on us multiple times. I just kept breaking. I mean, it's bigger shares. So that it hits.
Here's the daily.
But yeah, it's a nice move down for AMD. I think that bottom was 95.50, but what looks different than 95.50 than 96.50, right? So that's my problem right now, not yours. So
what does that look like? Head and shoulders.
Look at CGC, $3. Till rate, $3.
Two big red candles. No small ones. Not getting shorter.
Because we really still should be short, trying to get more names into the short side of things. But look.
You got this right here.
So I look at this, I'm like, hey, maybe I should be long.
50% line.
So, Theo, nice little move to the upside of the 6 tonight.
It did just give the bounce, but it only got to about 70 on Amazon. So that's a way better trade if you actually have like 10s to 20s. I got the 30 bounce. I'll try it one time really tight to that 110. The other thing to remember is it breaks that low at 110. Like you can also just short that, right? Like you can actually try to avert that trade. It can be tricky because for us, we're firing 2 orders, by the way. I can't reverse if I'm long on one order. I can't just send an oversized order. One has to sell my position. The other has to go short. That's just a regulatory thing that we abide by. Not everybody does, but we do. So watch Amazon 110. It's about to come in here. Scalps them out. So at least we got something out of that long bounce, but it looks like it's about to break. Brendo on the small cap recap. I see you got that one. To the big.
Hey guys, yeah, not much to do really. I mean, the overall market move kind of taking away attention from small caps today, but COGT up on positive news again. It was a blood disorder trial, came back positive results, so big move for them today. You can see just absolute monster volume so far today on this thing on a daily chart. If you go to a daily chart, I mean, there's a bit of a wall at 9 and then 950 kind of above that, but that last high on the daily chart was 9 even. So we're there right now. Let's see what happens. Still great volume on COGT. I haven't tried this twice. There was a huge seller that showed up right in the open and pushed it back below.
This is the 5-minute chart.
It was easily taken out. So COGT, the only other one up there,
nothing substantial.
Up on an acquisition this morning, but 280 on the daily chart was a great level. If you missed that, there was no bounce on ALT. Back over to you.
Paltry bounce on that one. Okay, so, Microsoft did take down this 255. We didn't get out. We were waiting a little bit more than that to save a little bit temporarily here on Microsoft. So back into the money on the straight and into the money on the long. So just trying to take some out as it goes back up. We went up to 30 there and it's completely stopped. So initially we were looking at this 44, 45 level and then back into the 50 period. I think that's a good bid. I think you've done well to trace back there. So so far so good if that does come into play. But
I guess there's no way to
out of that one. As the lower
extend to the right.
is 254.70. So we're right here right now. Again, like where's my 256 short? We gave it up. Here it
Gotta
goes
be
right
right.
now. Might pick out the bottom, and we'll be out. This was actually net fine because we did get some outs here in the 30s and 40s, but there it goes back, sliding down again. Goes Microsoft and all of these names, man. So yeah, the Nasdaq tried to rally, but not really. It's definitely a short day. You just got to keep on those shorts, keep on the right spots there. AMD actually did retrace back up, and I was close to thinking about a short in this name, but again, like I just feel like the market's too far down now. But I keep it wrong. Down another 3.5% right now. So yeah, you got to be short something.
Apple's coming down.
I agree with you.
Tesla bounced off the bottom, VWAP, and now it's making
It's just risky, and that's
another down
risky, but,
rollover.
Trade, and sometimes you got to take some risk. But yeah, right now it doesn't look like we're taking the right ones as everything finds.
Microsoft crossed that line, but then now it's cranking down on top of that line.
Money flow indicator there. Something that's going to tell us that hey, maybe the selling is done. And right now, I mean, it's almost the best trade is to sit on your hands. I don't know what's working.
Sean just said the best trade might be to just sit on your hands.
Hoping that one didn't work out. It did work out. Popped in the money 10 cents, and that was it. So you could lose 10 cents in a heartbeat, but you've got to make it hard on the long side. That should be an indicator right there.
There is I saw a stack.
Yeah, see how it showed that it broke below there, right? Broke. And then it wants everybody to go short right here, and then it bounced and got everybody out. Boop. And then will it go down to here?
It looks like Amazon. Yeah, about 100,000 shares just on the Nasdaq book at the even 110. Obviously,
so
that's not the only
went lower than the bottom.
Books that'll probably be large. Probably had a pretty sized bid.
And then on the next candle, the next 1 minute candle, it bounced up, got all their.
I am long this stock. As I get out of it, if it bounces to the
what do you call it? Got all their stops out, ran all the stops, boop, 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 boop.
But I am trying
and then
to reverse this at 110.
Went back down.
I have two different stop orders, one of which is going to end up quoted to get me short because that's out there. These are if it does pop,
so I think what's happening here is a lot of people are continually buying because they don't know where the low is. So buying a little bit here, 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 down, buying a little bit here. Really simplistic, actually. The people are working their way in for a bounce.
Isn't that crazy? Like we were talking about that Amazon short.
923.
And now it finally comes in. Okay, here's
so what at 9:30 we might get something.
Last couple days. So all right, loaded up now on NIO. So 17. 17 break. We're going to get out, obviously, of this one if it does break through. Sorry, 18 breaks. I'm just setting my order right now.
I'm imagining it's going to bounce here-ish.
We don't need to be in this name if it breaks lower, so we will do exactly that and get out if it does come through. So
or it's going to break like a motherfucker to the down.
Our position's right here, 13. So we're long at 13. We've averaged into this trade. Let's see if they can go back up to the upside right now. Big time movement, man. A lot of the
225 for the day on Friday.
Why not? If you've been short, you've been banking right now. So nice little Sam Bankman read today on that one. Let's go over. Hey, talk about Sam Bankman. Let's go check out what Robinhood's doing. I'm sure it's having a good day. Robinhood down today, another 3%. And again, you look at some of these levels, like maybe we're holding out here. I don't know why. I mean, we only went over here for the Sam Bankman, but Roblox down 9% today. That's still moving to the low side as we look, man. Netflix, that's 183 right now. That's pretty low. Square down 7%. I mean, everything is just bleeding. Is PayPal sub 8 yet? Yeah, there it is. PayPal breaks 80 down to $79. Like, the bleeding is here, and it's continuing. And, yeah.
Big candle to get through that guy right there.
On today plus yesterday. And, yeah, you're not you're making fun about getting divorced. Well, you didn't get divorced yesterday. Maybe today might be your day. So, get ready to get locked and loaded here. But we're long Neo off of some strength here at 18. He's trying to bounce off. No idea where we go from here, but I don't know how your Amazon.
That break was no good.
Okay.
Like it got there was a stack bid at 70 and then a bit of a bid at 80. So it wasn't a huge bid at 80. It was enough to get some out in front of it, and then there was a stack bid below, so it couldn't really break. It'll have to settle below that price, I think, to try to engineer back into the short. But I'm not going to fight it too much there. I just really don't want to be fighting it.
Like that measurement most. Makes sense here.
That's the problem with shorting.
Makes sense here.
Don't want to get trapped at a
It makes sense.
Look at Netflix, right? Like
barreling through it there. A little touch here.
Netflix, I decide not to get out.
That's the first candle. Here comes the second candle. Could buy the second candle. Do you want to?
The market is still at the bottom. Netflix just tested right back for our entry price. So that's one where I did think that it had.
That first candle was so big, it needed to retrace a little bit. Right here, retrace a little bit, and then maybe bounce up.
The market bounces from here. Netflix could put a pretty big recovery on. So I have to watch this one pretty closely. DocuSign, it's still bargaining.
It could have been a trade. You could still take it now, but
it looks like it's trying to hold on.
Kind of run it.
I do want to short a DocuSign off 70. I don't want to chase the $1.50 away. This is not a day to be chasing levels. I might try to get something a little bit closer, just above 69. But I don't like a 68 half entry where I beat it already. And Tesla, by the way, back to 700. This is putting a little bit of a bottom. I don't want to chase any of these long too far. I want to get back to
it's not a doji, but it pretty much is.
It's got
a little bit of green chalk in it. See?
This is not for my account today. I'm doing it because we just talked there about. Honestly, we made back a lot. It was my biggest position down here at 18. More just because we had Neo in, we had some talk on.
It's running too slow.
Even as it says this, I'm getting ready just to get out of some of this right now on NIO. But yeah, big damage done today.
It's 927
on AM. That was really.
You're doing okay.
That I'm really that worried about. We're like.
I know you want to take one more just to get it over 500. I know you want to get it over 500.
So
I know you're looking for a trade.
That's a big name for me. It looks like hopefully NIO could be a big name, but again, we're out of just under half.
Don't need to push it.
Here in mid-20s, so that's worked out from an 18-10 long. So far, so good on that one. I'm just really disappointed with my trading on AMD. And it's been a tough market today. There's been no bounce, so that's really the hard part about it. But I say those things, but I don't really mean them because Amazon hasn't been hard, man. Amazon short has just now not worked, but all through this, man, we were looking at Amazon short.
You just drew a line on Apple. Apple's running a downward channel.
Other names that have been falling off the face of the earth. NASDAQ names, Microsoft. Short through that 260 was pretty easy. We were freaking short Apple to begin with the day at 140.
Apple is in
it's down to 137. It's
slight channel.
It's patience.
Right now,
you have the short.
down.
You should have held on. It's easy to say now. The market's been open an hour. It is what it is. That's the worst thing to say in this market. But honestly, you've got to hold your positions. You've got to believe one way or the other. And I'm getting ready to wait for this market to blow up a little bit here. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But you keep trying to test little highs here. But as you look, these bottoms, where was that a bottom? Was that a bottom? You're still making lower highs here. High. Lower highs keep coming in. Doesn't look like we're out of the woods at all on these shorts. This could be a NASDAQ down 4 or 5% day. So get ready here. You keep on retesting highs and then breaking them back down. So until you break through this 11,900 or whatever.
Made a higher high here. Or excuse me, a higher low.
Sideways market.
But technically,
until then, if you hold on to your longs, have your
here's a low.
And just wait to see what this market
Here's
wants
23%, right? Or the 62%. Missed it just by a hair. But that can be adjusted, right?
As of Sunday at 12 a.m.,
Missed it by a hair.
Test required for international travel, air travelers into the U.S. But all of these have given everything back. So we had a pretty good move on AAL initially, right back to day lows. Some of the cruise lines popped up on that note as well, right back to day lows. Wanted to mention this quickly as well. PBTS.
He didn't quite touch that there.
Number of halts yesterday, trying to take out day highs.
Can we just not talk about that song? Maybe? I'm on purpose. I'm not even bringing it up because it's stumped out for me. But you don't do that. I will get to it in a second. I'm kind of joking. But in the chat, it was mentioning here, Microsoft.
The overall market's so weak.
Failed to actually be
it's trying to find a bottom.
That's what you want to look for.
Everybody's looking for that bottom. But
the last half an hour or so, it's really only had under $1 range,
don't know.
which is tightening up. It tries to bounce. I think it's soft. So get above that 255.
9:30 on the dot.
It looks like it hasn't really gone
right
out.
here.
That 905, the 9 level for rejection, looks like it would have been a good one. My eyeballs are on Microsoft now.
Normally, right at a time frame, I've noticed that it doesn't really do anything until the second minute, like say 10 o'clock, maybe 10:01, 10:02, 10:03, then it starts going. So, is this higher high, higher low? Yes, this is a higher low, barely, than this. It's going to bounce right here.
Back above this 110. If it goes anywhere and tries to consolidate here, I'll try to take a long in Alibaba. I'm only wanting to do so where it is relatively.
Apple's still stuck in its downward range.
Back in there. It was PBTS. That was one of, I don't know if my trades will show up on this. Kind of hoping. Here you go. You'll never have enough at the top. That's a reality when you do this. But it's getting right close to that 150 level where it turned around. Now, remember,
this is where I take a break at 9:32 and go to the bathroom. Of course, it's going to bounce right here when I do. Always does.
The one level that mattered yesterday, which is 150, is trying to chew through this as we speak now, guys. So if it fails at the same price, every now and then it happens, there is nothing on this offer, relatively speaking. The same amount of shares on this offer as were on the Amazon bid.
Trying to go.
It was $110.
Is it going to come up to here?
There's nothing on this offer.
Where is the yes?
All right. Like, super happy, obviously, with the way this Neo trade is working out. Nice little move. We have a little bit less than half now on this trade. So, again, whatever. We didn't put on a huge amount of shares on this trade, but still, it comes back up to the upside. And now we're just getting pieces out. So there comes again another piece out there. It basically went.
Apple's under the 23.6 short term. Apple just broke out of its channel to the north side.
But again, like you got to really, really believe in longs in order to support your long positions in a day like today.
Apple's still under its 23.6%, even though it broke out of its channel.
That's at 27.20. Maybe we finally get that bounce. The Nasdaq is trying to do what I said.
Not really liking much of that breakout.
Look, the last bounce we had went to the 50 period faded. 50 period faded. If we can get there, that's when I really want to say, okay, maybe we have an upside move here, and it is time to get out. So it's been a nice run to the upside. We did take something out there. Obviously, this 50 period is going to be respected in the same thing here on the Nasdaq or on the T. So that's 27.36. So I actually have an offer at 27.30 because again, if we make it up to that,
Tesla has built itself
it bounced there.
A right arm off its belt.
So let's see if that level is going to hold out for us on the 50 here for the Nasdaq. We will average it
in a declining head and shoulders pattern.
Very, very structured trade. Like we're bouncing around. I already know my idea here for the Nasdaq. So if it wants to bounce here, we'll hopefully have the right names with NEO, with TQQ, which is triple Nasdaq. So we're willing to take a long, see if it can blow up against us. About 15 cents against us is where we'll hold this. So again, expecting a bigger move to the upside. Crystal Reward should be here right now in the market.
Sean's going long on the TQQs.
Yeah, I did get into bottom. Like it is doing what I expect, what I kind of want.
It's probably just chasing it back into VWAP.
For now, but I'll give it to like the lower high. But there goes that PBTS through 150.
And I see somewhat of a head right here, shoulder area here, head maybe.
But at this point, I'd be thinking $2.
But
either it fails here or $2.
It's running too slow. This is where I'm going to get chewed up. So
I got my stop in place, not too low today.
Bull flag here.
To give it to that level. You look back to
how long is it going to go? Oh, there it goes. Little bull flag is running. So
and a half.
This is where we measure
You
it.
can kind of see when we had the consolidation and the breakout, it's 109 and a half. That's what my stop is going to be. We get to VWAP,
There.
we can do better than 1-to-1. So that'll be the first exit point. And
To
the
there.
trend is not your friend with this move. Let's just keep that in mind. However,
There.
you are seeing some signs of a bottom in the futures. We're not back to any of the key levels on the NASDAQ, but we're now actually sustaining a little bit of a bounce. It's more than just like 5 or 10 points here. So we are actually getting some kind of a bounce, trying to energize some of these longs, or any of these longs, I should say. Tesla's back above that 700 level. Heck, I might be getting a zero on Netflix, 185 back in space. So I do want something to the long side.
Right here, Apple's at right at its 23.6.
It's up half.
Broke out of its channel, hesitated, came back, went back up again.
Strength that you saw in some of the Chinese things. I bet you like.
See right here on that measured move, I ran out of gas.
Billy, maybe. I didn't look at it. I just made an assumption. It's probably down. Well, yeah, it's down 5%. I just kind of feel like maybe shorting DB was the lowest hanging fruit today. Because he could have.
Once it completes its measured move, it generally does a little bit of consolidation.
Mentioned gold briefly in the pre-market, guys. Just saw
It made such a big run right there. It needed to check up.
Was down as well.
But the steam has been extinguished at this point. The steam has all been let out of the chamber.
Yeah, I was just looking long apple. Okay, I like that SPL.
So we got a little bit of a shoulder here, a little bit of the head. Will it come back down to here and start a new shoulder here? It's very possible.
Look at this out. First of all, Neo, like that's why we dropped down the money there, because honestly, this was a great pickup for me. We had a lot of shares for myself.
This type of market is where you get chewed up, John. So go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm going to the bathroom.
Good so far on NIO, but yeah, wow. Now it's faded back. Well, at 55. Now it's come back in there on that number. And then look, dead on right there. We'll go, whoa. We got the ball out, but there's that 27.30 that came in for too. So long there at 27.05. Or what am I long? 06. Out there at 30s. Should have taken it all, but there it is. It goes right up that 50 period. Called it right there. So, there was opportunity to start to short some of those calls, which I should have exactly done. Thank you, Kevin, for that good call on Neo. Yeah, I'm happy with it. We made some money back on NIO, so thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Trader Joe for your kind words there as well. And look, sometimes you stand in front of trains and they absolutely run you over, right? I feel stupid because, this AMD, realistically, if I would just hold some of these positions, some of the damage probably wouldn't be that bad right now, especially if we were able to get out at 97, because that last 96. But again, we're day trading. I'm levered up. My buying power is monstrous. So some of the positions that I take is just you can't hold them against you for too far. But I'm trying to get better at that. I understand that where my pitfalls are, and some of that has to do with patience, right? And including stuff like this. Like, why am I up on Amazon today? Because we were short early. And, we have a video out here on, here it is right here on Twitter. I think I pinned it. Go, here. No, maybe I didn't, because now this is here. Oh, yeah, here it is. Let's get this. Go see what I said yesterday or 2 days ago, about why we liked Amazon short, right? All over there. So, it's having patience. It's believing in some of your trades and just holding on to them. Begin the day, man, we were short TQQ. It's not like we didn't think the market was going to tank. There's the short right there off CPI, right? Big move there. But again, you get carried away for some of these levels, and that is what it is. But I guess once we're ready, we can go over to Sector Watch. Prad has his ear concerns, so I don't know what he was yelling about there. But Prad's in the building. Guy's feeling better on what was a very important day to trade here today. So Brendan at the big screen. That looks really colorful, not Brendan.
Yeah, kind of one-sided on the board, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever seen this spread before, but 2.4%. Glowing, in fact. You got to go way over here to some material stocks. Hey, there's Newmont positive on the day. I can't even read the other one. It's so small right now. Some of the consumer staple stocks also in positive territory so far. I just noticed they still have FB on this board. Apparently, FB is up 1% today. So I'll send a note to Reuters to tell them that symbol changed. Tech stocks, financials, consumer discretionary, all very, very right, guys. I mean, it is what it is. It's 2.4% right now for the S&P. Actually.
Yeah. So what Pratt? I did hear Pratt just now. There's 200,000 shares on the offer of Micron at 63.80, which oddly enough is the exact price that I got out of my short before, which is weird because that was actually this is where it was holding the bid. Pre-market low was the opening range of pre-market low actually was 63.65. It bounced off that price and then right there got out to 63.80. Now you have a big offer and there's been resistance here this entire time. So maybe it jailbreaks from that price. I'm just trying to scalp at 75 to that level, see if I can take advantage of that large size order. You never really know. I also got into PVTS here. I said either it fails here or goes to $2. So, like yesterday, it was I would have been short here. I probably would have been short here and 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 here. All of that nonsense. This time, actually wait for it to squeeze multiple times and then get into it. It ends up being at the exact same price that it did yesterday at 50. So 148 took you all the way to about 90 in yesterday's trade. My guess is day two, maybe it's a little bit stronger today. I have no idea. We'll see what happens. But if it gets down to VWAP, maybe we can't take some out. But that Micron, it's just big size on the offer. But keep in mind, it's on 7.5 million shares. So 200,000 shares was bought. But really, in the context of how much it's trading, it can get to that level.
So
it's just a matter of trading off a bit here. Now, that's why you're scalping.
let's talk about how today
flush all the way to the lower today. Yes, the trend
you successfully
that's only moving off of that
made
level.
$225.
So what's up, Russell Jackson? I see you.
It's not a ton,
Little member logo there.
but
I
it's
like that.
shit day to be trading because the market is moving really slowly.
Make it. Again, one day we'll be
and
shout out to you, Russell. We definitely remember you on the show, and so thank you and welcome back, my friend. All of us here. You've been a good friend of the
Apple
show.
looks like it's setting up for an inverted head and shoulders here
But we are looking and very close.
at
I don't want to say very close, but we have a couple
942.
more third round interviews that come about a new coming the Circus on Brendan there.
So yeah, let's talk about how you've made $225. You're in the positive.
Get some fresh blood in here.
You are $1,500 shy of $3,000 where you need to be, and it's Friday, and it's a slow ticking day,
Regardless of what your account is up
and
I hope that you're comfortable trading and that we've helped you. Look at
it's not good. You can get really chewed up on a slow ticking day, and it's what is it? Contract expiration renewal day. So
yeah, exactly. And
that's probably why we had that big fall off, was because it rolled over from May to June contracts. So
it's holding for now on Alibaba at 109.50. But that's a breakdown. So once again, it's a long trade that I don't get out of right away. Usually like the small scalp, that looks like it wants to take out the bottom.
well, we are looking at a head here, or a cup and handle,
That's what you have to take advantage
right?
of.
Cup and handle right here.
Watergy Systems, which is QNGY.
And
semiconductor company.
this might have been our pullback here and explosion up.
Business, I guess. But here we go. QNGY, pretty.
Order
Let's get
filled.
2 in right here. Let's just get 2 in. All we need is 2.
Target
Got
filled.
our 2. That cup and handle made me feel comfortable enough to trade. We could probably get some more.
Some of these names are, man. I mean, 21 cents of the money on the seat, but that's right back to this 50.
Yep, there it goes. Should run back up to about here.
So something's dancing around a bit here as we go. But yeah, Alibaba looks pretty good. I'm worrying about a 111. Oops, that's not Alibaba. That's
498.
Alibaba. I mean, there's VWAP at 111. It's positive today. I've been talking about taking VWAP breaks and things like that. So yeah, maybe there is going to be something on some of these breaks. But there it is. Great again, man. Testing Look what we just
Broke
got
this
on
channel here.
bounce. So we're right at that level. It's got to take it and hold it, man. It's got to
Cup,
take it period
handle,
and hold it. If we do that,
run.
then we may be in a little bit of surprise move outside.
Yeah, and wow, I just
But right now, Apple is working on its right shoulder still, so
we did get right down to that.
this is our issue here. If we can get a bounce on Apple up to the middle VWAP,
Market is trying to make a bit of a bounce here, so
yeah, the market is trying to make a bit of a bounce here, that's for sure.
Have it out. That's all I can say. Have it out. I was asked a couple of times in the chat about UBXY, and
We're just waiting on Apple to bounce.
Because every day there was just too many symbols to look at, and so to add something
But
new,
it's
you just got really
inverted head and shoulders on Apple right now.
It was easy to maybe trade this a little bit more often, but this change, it hasn't really gotten to where I would think about a short on
But
UBXY.
it is a
little bit tighter, that
descending
15, 20 level.
inverted head and shoulders
It was a clean breakout though, and then like
on
this is where I
Apple.
miss out my
Descending.
because I had these all drawn. Every line I had drawn was like
Up.
literally a week old.
Here comes the
Look at
pop.
this breakout that just put on this morning. I probably should have had that.
I think Apple should pop up here a little bit, but
that's the level I have set for UBXY. So I appreciate the question. I do look at it still.
That is a
but I haven't been trading.
bull flag. But since the Apple,
Just trying to see the getting ready to wrap the show up.
no, that's an in. That's it. No, it's going up. So wrong. It's an Apple
because again,
inverted head and shoulders.
Period bounce there, long and a couple bounces.
Yeah,
there. So
Apple inverted head and shoulders in an incline. Right shoulder is higher than left shoulder.
That's what I just see myself. Because Neil and I, again, sometimes we'll be in complete opposite positions. So,
But it's moving so slow that
each other. Whenever we see, sometimes I don't even know. We were always looking up here to see what positions we're in.
Except when it's showing that.
Yeah, except when it's showing that, of course. Yeah, so anyways, there's the bounces off some of these names. We didn't look at Snapchat yet. That's down 5% back in the name, where Evan Spiegel came out and
needs some more tea.
Not even that long ago. And today, obviously, is going to continue. That is at its day lows right now. So Snapchat relative against the market down 4.5% today. Still making downside. Look at the 20 period. So there it is, just about as nasty as you can get. There's the move from, I don't know if that was the move from Evan there that did down to 13. I feel like it was more dramatic than that. Hold on a second. Let's see this back out. That might have been the day there. But there he goes. It gets all the way back to 15. I don't know why this chart's not loading. But anyway, some of these levels, I mean, you've just broken back down below. So 1340, 1350 here on Snapchat. Again, if you're looking for some long, that's a key level. So there's something there. You mentioned, so Alibaba's back to 110. I don't want any of that, and I don't want any of that smoke until.
Looks like it's going to fight its way all the way back to here.
It needs to make a move upside.
Or it could, now that it's broken off this trend line here, it could just go.
Like we even brought that up. Like that's another level there.
Apple's inverted head and shoulders is coming back down to check left shoulder.
All the way back to mid-May. So, and then even early May there it held as well. So the very bottom is 99.20. What I say about holding, give it down to $1, that's worth it. But Disney today back down 80. So that could be a level to get back to 100 that you want to look at.
This is just a channel here.
No, I will not be reloading DocuSign at this price. We liked it off at the open because it was one of those and we've seen a bunch of them down over 20%, 15 to 20% earnings plays that couldn't take out the low, so it made the bounce. It ran 70 was the level I wanted to short. That's where I thought it would turn around. So I wanted to, so I didn't get it. Obviously, there was other things happening. We didn't miss out on it. At least we understood.
It is technically a
top, but I don't like the reversal here. It was still market's still on the
head and shoulders here. Here's the head, shoulder,
it's still
long shoulder,
and they still got it. Like it was a trade off of the open. Seen that pattern this earnings season. I'm not even sure that even like that type of a long. I'm not even sure that
Apple bounced higher
quarter
off the right shoulder.
I did reload Netflix for the short up here because
Apple just bounced. Not just bounced.
Negative catalyst, and it's still holding that 185. So I will get back into that one to the short side. Baba's still barcoding off that 110. Plan's still in it. But realistically, yeah, Sod, I just put in the chat, if Docu gets the 40s, there'd be serious buyers there. I could see that. You know, like, if you go back far enough on the daily trend and DocuSign, I think actually was talking about Brendan this morning, 40 kind of looked like the level that made some sense, and on a PE, maybe that makes a little more sense as well. I did want to jump over to NVAX just quickly because
makes sense to buy here.
Today, if you're looking for relative strength, we should not ignore something that's up 3%.
Order
the last
filled.
couple of days that has been beaten up. But look where it bounced. Like, not a secret where NVAX caught a bid at $41. Whenever you see a liquidity vacuum and a wipeout in the stock, try to see where buyers come into it, because that could be a pretty solid indication of support.
Target filled.
I've seen it 3 days in a row.
Yeah. I was holding my breath on that one.
I mean, ultimately, they did get the first step with their.
Okay, so you're at 325. You're at 51,539.
That 41 level, strong for NVAX off that bid. Brendo, money time.
Hey guys, yeah, big moves on the currency board along with stocks this morning. That's the U.S. dollar on a hourly chart. I mentioned yesterday this was going to be a mover. We saw this big move up yesterday into the CPI number this morning. And then, wow, from 102 up to 103.5, back to some highs for the U.S. dollar, 4.1 right now, up almost a full percent for the DXY. Flip that chart.
First green candle, second green candle, on a reversal. First green candle, second green candle on the channel. So on a channel, look for first green candle, second big candle. First green candle, short, well, not short, but smaller. Second green candle,
Earlier, the Bitcoin
bigger.
fell with stocks on that CPI number this morning were below 30,000 once again. We did bounce off 29, but straight.
This is a long tail high, which is dangerous.
Some of the names that were, well, some of the names, it was just Microsoft.
But I think it's there to fool you.
Microsoft.
The algorithms are now in effect. It is 9:52. We will be done trading at 10:15 or less. I'm probably done. I just want to watch for a big something at 10 o'clock. Like I said earlier, 10 o'clock to 10:05. Or sometimes it starts 5 minutes before and runs into the 10 o'clock for a big bounce or downsize or down.
Very, very recently, my daily was one low.
So
you got a double bottom on the higher.
Didn't exactly touch that right there. See how it touched it here, didn't touch it here? That tells me that it might be going back down because it didn't have enough momentum to hit that and go through it. So it turned back down. Okay, first green candle off the bounce.
If the market doesn't participate, it's hard for it to go. But hey, we've been bouncing off these lows for a little bit here. And my Bob isn't point. Maybe something a little bit stronger could work. And no, Steve G. It's not
second green candle, big bounce. Are we going to get it?
And I have no idea why I said y'all.
I say y'all all the time. So
I know you do, but I don't think I haven't said it.
Doesn't look like it, but is it just checking up? I think we're going back down here.
You could be in Dallas. I think in August. Thanks for that. You can friend now. September, sorry, yeah, Labor Day weekend. I can't wait to get down there again. Awesome, maybe we'll get to the rodeo. But I used it when I was down there because hey, sort of do what you do. When I was in Florida, Summers University, my family moved to Florida. My dad worked down there. My brother went to school.
Don't forget to look up rodeos in
that was a long time
July and August to take Debbie.
That's not really much.
All right, new position alert here.
Because it didn't hit this right here.
No, we're 25 cents in the money. We've just been last.
It's weak now.
Sort of like resting
And I think it's going to go down.
IO trade right now as that's come back down a little bit. Yeah, so I don't mind testing it if we get back to $18. The one trade that I'm in now, and I think that I want to be until
Apple's creating a
Apple's tested 137
cone
times now to that downside
to the right.
chart. This has been a very, very key level. We talked about where people buying down here. at 137. Obviously, you get some of those wicks downs, 133, 134. But right here, Apple, I mean, this 137 area, a pretty decent one. So we'll go into the short now, see if we can hold out, or sorry, into the long, sorry. See if we can hold out against that bottom of the day, which is 137. So we'll average into this trade, see if it can work for us on the down, on the upside. If it comes back in, this is just a starter position here for Apple. So we're long at 27, so that's right now. But I really think that we can average back in. This is the minute chart here. You know, as we start to fall into this 137, like a retest of 137, if the market gets down there, then we'll start to really load that up and then dump it right through 137. So, you know, that's a trade that I don't mind right here. Apple, I think if the market wants to bounce, which doesn't look like it wants
breaking here.
Yet. You see how we're consolidating? Like, it's just one little.
It didn't quite get there, right? So sometimes it does it right here. Doesn't mean it's going to go down.
We'll see if that can hold out. Down 3% could get nastier, man. You're barcoding right now on the futures. Any little bit of a drop down is a problem here. So we'll try to pick up Apple and see if we respect that bottom. If we don't, it'll be an easy out. We're
956
for us here. So that's AAPL sitting on the bid around 137.50, Brent.
Oil trying to bounce here, guys. Here's a look at both USO and crude oil. You can see huge move down for crude. USO following suit. President Biden saying he's going to look at other ways to put more oil back into the system. So energy stocks getting hit now as well.
Yeah, and then just to clarify, I put in the chat too, but I didn't go to school in Miami. I went to school here in Waterloo. But I spent my summers in my brother went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. He's an animator now, so good school. I'm familiar with the area because I spent a lot of time there. You mentioned energy, and I'm going to mention easily the biggest missed opportunity for me because I blabbed about Occidental yesterday in that channel that it was in, and then I did get it along when I tried to bounce off of this channel, and I never took this short. Talk about these floors getting broken, like Micron today breaking through double 66, but the channel Oxy was in was pretty darn good as well, and it just took that one out yesterday and was dump city, and today
shoulder,
again, dump city into the next level down.
head.
This is one of the things you want to look for in a bear market.
Shoulder,
you want to shelf
afternoon.
breaks. You want to be all over it, man. Like Micron, that's what Micron did today for you if you were looking at it. Once it got below that 66, this is on the 15-minute chart. It's an even better looking short if you pull up the daily chart of Micron. It's an even better short because you're going all the way back to like 2021, and then it was a quadruple bottom for this year. It was also a low last year. You go even further
Apple's
back as it loads up.
triangle to the right.
Those levels you want to see because when they go, forget about it. When they bounce,
Forget about it.
Gal will do all that stuff you do in front of it, like swing trading in front of it's worked as well. But when they go, especially on a day where the trend is with you, that's what you want to have a quick look-see at. And there's going to be a lot of them because, quite frankly, you're going to start retracing.
Not to mention this was 1, 2, 3, couldn't do it, down.
Microsoft has come in as well. These are all at days low right now. So Microsoft's at days low. Everything is probably not going to bounce, but we want to just test one more chance here at a low and see if we can get something that we're able to hold for a bit. But here goes Microsoft. Again, it's not a big position, but we are going to average into it right about now.
Big, small, smaller.
If we can get it. And then there it is. So we're just going to give this a little bit lower. The day's low now is in play.
That was an attempt up, back down.
Traces all the way back down. Here it goes. It's going to break. This is not.
There's a top here.
It's not, but it just took down the
here.
So next stop lower here, down through 254 on Microsoft.
All right, Apple's hit the bottom of its triangle. Is Apple going to crank down through that triangle?
Yeah, TQQ as well. So
right at it.
Last-ditch longs here as we leave. Everything's at the bottom. Yeah, there it is. The funny thing is, again, like I'm doing this mistake again. Like, look, short. Like, we called these plays, and now we're trying to find longs. There goes Microsoft down in. That's not TQQ. Microsoft just broke that 254, and we got out there. Small hit.
Apple did break its cone or triangle.
Didn't go. Look at these
to the bottom.
Still break. Like, I'm fine taking some shots here. Like we just said, we took out a NEO right now at 30 on the 30 breaks. Now we're flat on NIO with nothing to go. So here it is, Apple 138.20. one last stab as this comes back down in. I don't know, man. These lows just keep getting violated over and over and over again. We're going to go over the midday show as we keep breaking lower, man. So I don't know if there's any trades you have on board right now.
Okay, 10 o'clock.
Well, not the bobble long.
Sean's going long. 10 o'clock.
Netflix is holding all morning long at that same high, so just playing off the same level. Took some out of VWAP again. This time I will.
Sean's going for a long.
But wow, crazy market. And it's going to be like this all day. Not just all day long, but I feel like the rest of the year. Volatility's in because that's the environment we're going to see. So glad to bring you Trader Pratt. And yes, he is back. Luca is back in the building. Although I see something missing in that wardrobe. Let's go to the market midday show there. Trader Pratt and Luca.
Is this a neckline?
What do you mean something's missing? It's supposed to be Casual Friday, my friend. It's supposed to be Casual Friday.
So the best isn't casual, sir. The best isn't casual.
Oh, best.
Oh, the best. Yeah, I figured I'd give the best the rest.
Nice one.
Give the best the rest. And you know what? I honestly thought Brad wasn't going to pick. So I wore the jacket. I wore the Ferrari. I wore the jacket. And then I seen him, and I was like, oh, God, you're going to hate me for this. But thankfully, it's nice to be comfortable.
Thankfully, feeling a lot better. Hopefully, it still stays this way, doesn't go worse. But yeah, I'm glad to be back in the hot seat. Glad to be trading again. Lots of FOMO yesterday, watching these guys kill it. Good job on yesterday's show, guys. And even Tony was here, I believe. So awesome job over there. But yeah, you know what was more fun? It's Free Fall Friday, baby. Let's get the sirens going. Markets are dumping the downside. CPI numbers came out bad. Lots to talk about, lots to trade. I hope you guys are having fun on Friday. Let's see where the market's going to right now. I can start off with some couple of my trades that I have
trash.
today. I started watching Apple. Apple short in front of 139. Sorry, 139 break to the downside. I'm still sitting in that trade. I have a Roblox short around 29. Still sitting in that trade too. Couple of other trades that I had got too short, but I didn't really trade it properly. Clearly missed out on the move. I had the right entry, but I got stopped out on my last few shares over there, so got too short. Micron
10:02. Got a market little pop there.
Brankles called down. Didn't trade this one properly either because it broke the level. I got out of it for a tiny loss. But last but not least, this trade that I'm trying to work with, almost the same idea that Neil.
Microsoft's getting a little bounce. Tesla's getting a little bounce. Apple still looks pretty
Scalping the trades
poor.
Successfully. Not a single scalp has been for a loser. Maybe one of the scalps has been for a flat trade. But yeah, here are my orders getting ready to pile in for sure.
Apple's cranking
But
down.
in case Netflix does pop up over here and the scalp on the way down, building that position for a final drop in case Netflix does drop. And Netflix has a negative catalyst behind it too, which is a downgrade from Goldman Sachs. Along with Netflix, a couple stocks that were downgraded today are actually Roblox, hence that's why I'm showing Roblox and eBay. Didn't look at eBay all day today. Let's go quickly take a look at eBay.
10:03.
And then we can go over to see what the homie Luca Ferrari jacket smashed today. Maybe some Palantir trades because he's wearing the Ferrari jacket. We don't know yet. We'll find out. But here's your eBay chart. Kind of looking like a boring trade. I guess that's why I didn't even bother pulling the stock up today. Netflix and eBay were my number. No, sorry, Netflix and Roblox were my number one. And
First green candle.
Downgrade
Here.
from
Big red.
downgrade from
Big
Goldman
green.
Sachs and so on. But here's Netflix.
There's some buyers here, maybe. 10 o'clock's when the algos come in. Everybody goes home. Third green candle.
Walk away with the loser, and we're still going to be up on the day, thankfully, because so far all these scalps have been paying us multiple dividends.
Sounds like you're having a great day, Brad. Sounds like you're having a great day.
So far, day's not over yet, so anything could turn around on us. Market's creating a lower low, sadly, so maybe the bottom is coming in near 3,900.
Yeah, I was actually looking for like a push 3,900 minute tick.
Apple's making a run up.
And then just
We
kind of
go
reverse
10:04.
Yeah, some things I
Change
have
directions, maybe. Or is this just going to be left shoulder, right shoulder?
Traded this quite a bit, and I
down?
had the short here, and I took some notes, but then unfortunately kind of came back up and like straight to the upside. So I did along and then was just scalping here as best I could, but it was kind of
Yeah, there's nothing good to trade here.
We have the pull. We have the pull. It is out
Oh, here we go.
ever, and every single day it's just making its way closer there, right? So at this point I wouldn't be surprised,
Let's
but
move
yeah, for
this
sure 100 will be like
here.
the level, like that was 2,000 pre-split. So yeah, I'd expect that there would be like a lot of opportunity around that area.
If you did the math, it's exactly.
Yeah, 20
Okay.
for one, yeah. So 2000, yeah. But 100 even. And I want to say that it bounced off that level. It got closer when it initially tanked. 100? Yeah. Yeah, like 2000.
Okay,
So, yeah.
sorry, I'm thinking like 100. Did I miss 100?
Yeah,
No, like 10,000. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it should be very exciting. And, guys, this
Chainsaw is on fire right now.
wonderful season size there as well. I'm going to keep trying out here.
Are you not freezing here, Luke?
Just a little bit, but I got the jacket on, so I'm feeling good. You know, can't complain.
And then we have Sharif over here in a mustard shirt. But yeah, Luke, thank you for Luca for checking out some of the stocks that he was trading. So actually, Luca, I want to get your opinion about the CPI number. How did you disseminate that info, and how did you look for opportunities around that info? Because I know you were here by 8:30 getting ready to trade that number. You also faced some liquidity issues or like just teleportation issues.
10:06.
The move was extremely.
Something should have happened by now. So it's just gonna keep cracking.
Like everybody expected the same thing.
Slowly.
Statement saying like we know the number's going to be bad, like it is going to be bad. And so the number came out. I think it was 8.6.
The only thing I can think of at the moment, because we're in such a big down market, is
4,000 and just instantly right to
that
39.80 and then kind of went down 39.60. Like,
here's the left shoulder, it's building a right shoulder, and it's going to go.
2.75%. Like it's today, like free fall Friday. Like today, is the market going to close down 5%? Like I mean, at this point, nothing's surprising anymore.
Yeah, getting ready for maybe market to push down more over here. Nasdaq is trying to break the low of the day, but S&P 500, as I mentioned, is holding up at the new low that it created. Happens to be a little bit higher than the previous low. Here's your Nasdaq chart. Here's your S&P 500 futures. Let's see where this 5-minute candle closes on. The last 5-minute candle did close green, a little bit higher than the last low, as I already mentioned. And this one's trying to open up green and maybe close green also. Still
Here's
the
a
market
5-minute.
down 3% over here for the S&P 500. Nasdaq's down 3.5.
I wonder if it records the other chart when I
the small cap
click
stocks,
on it.
down 2.7, and the Dow Jones DIA
Now coming back.
down about.
Just dropped that one off. Coming back over here, clicked on this one.
So clearly, market is bleeding no matter what market you're looking at. But we're looking for more opportunities to get involved in. Right now, I'm looking at Apple on my second screen.
It's clearly going to be.
Apple 788. We're only 10 cents away from that. Let's see if the
Don't know if this thing is really doing much.
And give me more profits
Or
on
telling me anything. Is this line telling me anything?
I'm sure Apple 130.
Brad.
I'm sure Roblox.
Goodbye, Brad. Is this line telling me anything? What about this line? That line's not telling me anything. Is that line telling me? Yeah, that line's telling me something right there. See how this right here, so let's decorate this real quick. Line. So that is a serious line because it hit here, and it hit here, and it hit here, and it hit here, and it hit here. So that line is significant. This line right here is significant, and it's not massively significant, but it is significant to this head and shoulders pattern. So let's just make it a different color, make it fatter or something. Boost and apply. Okay. Stretch that out a little bit. I think we can get rid of this. That was I was looking for an incline, right? With that line. Like this. See how you click here? Is that an incline bounce for an incline head and shoulders? Is this a bounce for an incline head and shoulders? Overall, long-term, regular head and shoulders with an incline to their shoulders. can mean an up direction after it completes the right shoulder. I'm sure there's an example I can show you somewhere. Alright, so we all want to know what this head and shoulder is going to do, but when is it going to do it? So let's just say from 9:20 to 9:30 is a 10-minute. So where did it start? 10-minute side, 20-minute side. There's a 20-minute area that it was doing a left shoulder. Here's a 10-minute shoulder to the right. So do we wait till 10:20 for it to make a decision? Does that even have anything to do with time frame? Typically it does. Apple is just going sideways, slightly declining. I feel like Apple's building to go up though here. Or a sharp drop down to the bottom view up. Yeah, now I'm feeling just one candle changed my mind. Yeah, I think we're still looking down. 10-12. Even though it is a slight incline, it's not a massive incline. I mean, the head and shoulders incline needs to be, the head and shoulders incline needs to be more like this for a head and shoulders incline, or this. If it's doing a head and shoulders incline, the shoulder line is going to be more vertical like this. And since it's such a small vertical, it's not really going to go up much if it is an inverted or an inclined head and shoulders. Looks like we're hitting resistance here. That big candle run up and then an instant reject, but a nice little pop there. Are we going to run? We're going to run a little bit, run a little bit. We're going to have a little breakout. Probably have a breakout maybe just to there or just to there. There's not very many people trading today, so we're coming back down. I think I'm done for the day. I'm just going to watch it on my own. Stop the recording. First day recording, not bad. You can hear the chainsaw in the background. It's funny. Okay, stopping recording.